That's Queen Victoria, very young in those days. Bit of a girl, don't you know? Having that fucking sword. It's cold. We're having it. What's that there?
So there was started as a camp how we feel about the sacrism. That's the first thing. The second announcement is for tomorrow's General Assembly at 7 p.m. And that is going to be addressing gender imbalance in the camp and outside of the camp. The political debate. We'd also like people to go away and think about that, think about how it affects you, and come back tomorrow at 7 p.m. for a discussion on that theme, which is gender imbalance politically. Okay, those are my two announcements. I'm going to pass it over now. Are there any other announcements people have got?
I have a slight problem with the gentleman here from the media with his large camera standing front row at our General Assembly. I think it's slightly rude, and no one in any of our General Assemblies was aware of this gentleman standing right in front of 3 feet. He's right here. I don't know if you can all see him, but I think that in General Assembly, it's actually, someone just told me that the media team invited him down here to take some sort of statement or film our General Assembly. And this is our General Assembly. It's not media's General Assembly. And they consistently, no offense to you, sir, good sir, no offense to you, I'm just making a point. They consistently, I don't need this, they consistently misrepresent us in the media. And I don't think that it's cool to invite the media down here to front row, shine light in our General Assembly. This is our occupation, not the media. And I have a big problem with that. Does anyone else have a problem with that?
No, not in front of the media either.
Because this is just going to be another opportunity for them to, scatter our words. The virus is probably putting it right now, and it's just very new. And the General Assembly wasn't aware of this at all. So I'm just making that point.
Public places.
Public highway.
I think what's important is to raise lots of really important questions. I think we should sort of think about this, about how we use the media and how we welcome them and where they should be in relation to our General Assembly. But I think there is going to be an important announcement this evening. So maybe slightly proposed as against all that we're doing at the moment. The media are really invited down here for this announcement. So let's not attack them this evening, but let's have a think about how we're going to use the media in future at another time. Okay.
I can stand with that. We're going to have announcements from our working group. Is anyone ready from the working group?
Yeah. I'm crowding you, mate. Nice clean your car, mate.
So somebody in the community about the telephone text and educating yourself that even everybody can do and everybody has access to the internet. So how are they going to acquire the information? I think a good suggestion would be on the day or the day before to have a workshop with accessible information there for people to come and learn about the telephone text. Just quick consensus there, good? Is there disagreement? Consensus.
Now we'll have announcements from working groups.
Okay, you've been thinking this is really, really good. So the economics working group, which is one of the groups around the camp that is creating strategies for the camp, met for the first time today, and we had a great meeting. And if anybody else would like to give economic input into the economic working group, they can come at 6 p.m. p.m. on Friday, downstairs at Yield England, which is the pub just down there. So if you want to have economic input into economic working group, 6 p.m. Friday in Yield England. Thank you.
This is the City of London Corporation Working Group. We have a really good meeting today. We're going to be liaising with the outreach group of the City of London, who you're going to hear some interesting news from in a minute. We're also going to be liaising with the economics group, who you just heard from, and later we're going to be liaising with the general outreach group, and eventually the direct action group, hopefully. We are interested in making the City of London Corporation transparent, just and democratic. We're aiming to draw up a document that makes clear to the UK population the practices of the corporation, so the country can decide why we believe they are worthy of challenging. I'm making a shout out for experts to join our group. One of us today has been in conversation with the famous Nicholas Shaxton, who wrote Treasure Island. And on Sunday at the St. Uni's, Father Williams is going to be talking about this subject more, but we need more experts to help inform our eventual statement. We're interested in using a freedom of information request and research to examine any correlation between the City of London Corporation funding and any influence that may have had on politics nationally and globally. We believe this is in keeping with the global Occupy movement's intention to put people before profit. To question the way that the City of London Corporation members are elected to office, and again to question the role and influence of the remembrance there. We will announce a date soon when we are ready to make a statement. That's when we're backed up by our statements being dealt with by the General Assembly and getting consensus, and also by experts first. So we're going to take our time to make sure we're going to win this and get it right. Our intention is not to be attacking, but to be looking at reform, positive change, what we want better. We're not on the offensive, we're just on the search for justice. Okay, to finish, and to reiterate, and need more experts, please put the word out. Tomorrow, again, our meeting is at 5 p.m. downstairs at Yield London. We're going to have a mix of people, experts, men and women of London and reform. We want as many people as possible to come into this statement so we can bring it back to the GA, have it consensus ratified, and then bring a statement to the media that will have true, reliable, aggregate impact.
As is announcement from the Tranquility Working Group, there will be a workshop tomorrow afternoon based on the somatherapy technique, which had its origins in Brazil during the military dictatorship there. It was developed for activists to work with an embodied technique for building skills for working in groups together. It can be used with a somewhat therapeutic aim of helping make it easier to process emotions and the sorts of things that come up through doing things like this. But it's also useful just as a basic level of building communication skills for working in groups. So that's going to be happening from 2 to 4 p.m. tomorrow, likely in one of the tents over there, but keep an eye on the notice for the exact location.
I'm representing the Women's Working Group at the moment, and we're really urging you to invite all your female and transgender friends to actually come and be part of tomorrow's very important discussion discussing gender imbalance, not just here in this country but throughout the world, and how we can change this globally and economically. Thank you. Please invite. It will be the debate tomorrow evening in the General Assembly. So please invite everyone you know. Okay, you have no more working groups, so I'll just introduce.
Shout out at the end. Yeah, shelter group.
Shelter group, sorry, I'm going to have an announcement from shelter group.
The shelter at the end.
Yeah, no, it's
shelter.
Evening all, confusing shelter group, not wanting a shelter house. So,
At the moment, there's very few people working on shelter. We really need people to help in this working group. There's a lot of things on count we need to fix. So please, someone at the end of the day, come and find me. And we really need to get this working better. Also, could you please try and be proactive? There's a lot of things. There are abandoned tents around the site. There are people putting their tents in the fire exits. We're putting gaps between them. Be sensible if you're pitching the tent. We're creating a map at the moment which will show where we've got various ways to come in and get out and where you can and can't pitch your tent. But please look at that and think and leave spaces between your tents. Because we're going around trying to shift tents, you've got tents on top of one another. It's a fire risk, and I understand that because you care about each other here. It's not about health and safety, it's about making sure everybody's health accounts and everyone can sleep well and warm. Thank you.
Okay, the theme for this night's General Assembly actually just needs a pause for us to remember why we're here and who we are, because it's quite heavy. So just remember the positivity and the hope that you have for the future and why we're here. It's based on feedback which is from our second Corporation of London Liaison Group, who met the corporation this afternoon at 4 p.m. It is contentious and emotive, and so we're going to listen to the feedback, and then we're going to get into groups of 10, and we're going to discuss points so that we can gauge how we feel about the feedback that we have received. It's not about making a decision right now. We're not going to make any decisions today. It's just about gauging how we feel about what we hear, or what we will hear in a minute. Okay. Thank you.
Hello everybody. I'm from the City of London Liaison Working Group, and today we're going for a meeting with the City of London. I'm going to give you some quick feedback from it, and what we're going to discuss today is just going to be disseminated. No decision making, just talking. So the first thing is that they're going on the ground that this is a public highway, where the 10 car over there straight down is the same as the road over there. It's a public highway for public access, and on the ground that we are blocking public access. What they're saying is that we have permanent erected structures which is illegal on a public highway. They have no problem with the protest, apparently. They just have a problem with tents. So what they're saying essentially is you can walk up and down and scream at the financial district for as long as you want, but a permanent erected structure is the problem. The three main points that he brought across, and he was a representative, he said the three main points are that they want to see that scale back, which involves, if you can imagine how far tents go, up to the curve over there, for that to be halved, well around about that. Similar to what happened in Parliament, a scaling back of the tent there. And then the second one is leave, and then the third one is to give them a time frame. So those are the time frame they said, maximum, is 2 months. So that's what they communicated to us. Just let it sink in for a second. So we had a lawyer there present, and he explained to us what he thought about the conversation that was had, and it wasn't really a conversation, we just listened. What he said was mainly around the fact of 2 months. He said, if you came to a lawyer now, or before, and said, can you give us 2 months for the court case, he would have said, no way. So what's happened is they've given us the largest achievement we could have gone for in a court case, which is a bit of an ultimatum, where if we say yes, well, we say yes, and we agree to scaling down and staying for 2 more months. If we say no, we will have to go into legal proceedings. And these legal proceedings will be quite interesting because the court will say, well, you offered 2 months and you said no. And that's quite ridiculous is what they'll say, and it will be quite brief. And also, it will be difficult for us to get legal advice because lawyers will say, all we could have got you was 2 months. So it's a lot of money to expend on a case that's going to be lost quite quickly. So I'm just giving you this information, so when you go into discussion, you go there fully informed. I'm going to ask for clarification questions now, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, so thanks for clarification. Did you want to come up in to the left?
Yeah, come on.
If you need some clarification, if you have some questions, please come up so everyone can hear you. Can we limit to 4? Because we'll be here all night, I don't know.
Okay, clarification. Why don't you just apply for planning permission to stay there, for example, for 6 months? It's a normal process. They have to get the papers out, and there's a 28-day public consultation period. If you refuse, you can appeal, and I think planning appeals last more than an hour these days, more than a year these days.
Yay!
So just to come back to that, I think that's an interesting point, but what he sort of got across was that it's a highway, so you can't apply for planning permission for erected structures on a highway because they need to be public access. There's a technical point here from the guy who's actually doing town planning. Would you like to?
One suggestion may be that we apply to have the land rezoned from highway to another form of ownership, and that may be a way to get around the highway issue.
Sounds good to me.
Sorry. One option may be that we request the council rezone the land from highway to another form of ownership, where we could then apply for planning permission to remain.
Sounds good to me.
These points are excellent, but they should be saved for the discussion. What I need right now is clarification points on what I explained. So please keep it to clarification questions to what I just explained, please.
It's quite important. I'm wondering, when does the 2 months start? So, when does the 2 months start? When we arrive, or from now, or from when a decision gets made?
So, they want us out before the turn of the year. 2 months, however you want to take it. Basically, they want us out before January 1st. Also, they're not concerned about what happens with the tent on St. Paul's land, or whether we even flood onto St. Paul's land. All they're concerned about is the public highway, which they have the authority over. Also, they would like a response within 1 to 2 weeks. So we need to keep updating them continually. That's what they ask for. Whether that's to update them that we're not going to update them, or to update them that we're going to update them. They want to be kept in touch with, and hopefully by Friday. But if we don't have it by Friday, we don't have to work for them. There's no urgency for us. Yeah, thank you.
If they said they wanted a dialogue, why didn't he come here and, as they said, the corporation, similarly like the church, that they want a dialogue, why didn't he come here and say these points to us directly? Point 1. Point 2, he claims he's the highway authority. But the word is that there has been a long debate between the church and the Corporation of London about exactly the property rights of these byways. Before the whole church was built, there was already a debate between the authorities. So with us, we need a historian, not just a planning expert of the here and now, but we need a historian who tells us exactly the demarcation questions between the church and the corporation. And point 3, if they say they want us out by Christmas, it might be cold at that point, and I just remind all of us that we have about 4 skyscrapers which are empty, so every single tent is 1 floor of a skyscraper, which we would bargain against. So they should prepare themselves for the intensity of our demand.
I'd like to remind people that that wasn't a clarification question, it's something for discussion, and we would ask anybody else who wants to speak, please keep it to clarification of what happened today, not what you think possible solutions might be or what we should do. Keep that to a discussion which will be shortly after this, please.
Hi, this is an actual clarification question, because I just didn't quite understand. Was it a 3 points, 3 different options that they gave? One to scale back, one to leave, and one to 2 months. Was scaling back not an option in itself, or does that also involve the 2-month deadline?
Okay. There are some elements clearly within the corporation who would like to see us removed immediately. However, what we heard today was possibly ever so slightly more reasonable than that. Not that I'm necessarily agreeing with it, but in any which case, however, once it's gone now, and seeing as that's unlikely to happen, I think, they may accept us scaling the camp back, and in any case, to be gone from their land by the new year. Is anybody left still unclear on that? So it is scaling back and be gone by the new year.
That's one option. That's 2 options. One option. That's not right.
So, they want us out by the turn of the year. That's fixed. What they would also like, some of them, is for us to leave. But that's not an ultimatum, it's just what some of them would like. And they're hoping, the reason they said that is because they're hoping we'll say, yeah, we'll leave. Obviously we won't. And then the other thing they'd like us to do, in the meanwhile, is scale back. And if we agree for the 2 months, they'd want us to scale back in that time. And the scale back, they said, they'd like it to be a visible scale back. So something that can be seen. So I hope that clears up, but by any means, they want us out before the end of the year.
In other words, you're going back on the word, scaling back is.
Can anyone hear me? Hello? Okay, so my clarification question is that, do they actually have any legal authority to kick us out when we're on St. Paul's land?
No.
So they can't ask us, so presumably scaling back means staying on St. Paul's land only.
Okay, this is a clarification. I'm actually just trying to clarify one of the points that the man with white hair just made. Is it actually an easy case for them to win because of these ownership issues? Now the church has pulled out. That seems to be the most material question. Can they get rid of us fairly predictably, and on what kind of time scale? You know, if they try and get rid of us, is it going to take more than 2 months, so would we likely be here longer? And are they likely to be able to do it?
And what's the boundary of the church land? Where does the church land go up? Will they win the case?
Yeah. A, will they win the case? B, if we do have to do the case, how likely is it to take more than 2 months?
So the question was, will they win the case? And if we go to a legal proceeding, will it take more than 2 months? So I initially said that the lawyer said they've offered us 2 months, and if the court had gone in favour of 2 months, that would have been quite a success, he said. In his terms, it was a win for them to say 2 months. So if we go to court saying that we are refusing the 2 months, it will most likely be done under 2 months. It will be done fairly quick because the court will think, we've already turned down quite a reasonable offer, in their opinion. And will they win? In the lawyer's opinion, yes. Because of the highway law, quite reputable lawyers have to hold them. Yeah, they'll just come on that law, and we can't win that one.
Where's the boundary of the church line?
I have 2 questions. First of all, it's about the status of the land. Could they actually document that this is a highway? Because compared it to that highway out there, those two are clearly different. Plus, there is a passage. There is a wide open passage there. So I'm not sure as a whole. At least it doesn't convince me. That's the first thing. Another is, what's our status as a legal body? Are we a legal body, right? Can we make a decision now? Let's say in a week, if another group of people here, another General Assembly, there's a new decision, there's a new consensus to say, like, they can't sue us, we're not an organization, right? We're not formally constituted in that way. And we can't today make a decision on behalf of the General Assembly that will be there 1 month down the line.
I absolutely agree with what the guy said before, and you know I can't speak on that. I can only speak on clarification points. So yeah, they presented us with a map, and the map is here, and you can have a look after, and it outlines exactly what is the public highway, and he explained that it's been a public highway for quite a long time, a very long time. They didn't designate that because of what's happened here. They designated that a long time ago. And whether it looks the same or it doesn't look the same, it's a public highway. That's just a fact, and that's what it's designated as.
Okay, the area that we're talking about is marked in blue.
Above one of those trees, yeah.
So you can see the front of the church is here, and what they're talking about is at the moment we're up to around about this section here, and they want to see that scaled right back. We can still be on the highway, but scaled right back. They have absolutely no interest in what's on St. Paul's land at all, which is that area marked in grey. They say St. Paul's is St. Paul's, what St. Paul's doing is up to St. Paul's. But the blue area in here is, as far as they say, it's considered a highway. We may have to have our legal team check that that is the case, because I don't think we'll be taking their word for it. Right. But yeah, they want to see the fence scaled back up against this area here, about half what they are at the moment. And we've gone through Christmas with that, and then Christmas they want us, well, Christmas New Year they want us off.
That's ours. We pay for that. Maintain the public expense.
I want to know what they can do if we don't move by Christmas. Like, what power do they have? Or are they going to come and physically remove us? I mean, because I think no matter where we move to, if we scale back or if we move, we're always going to have some loophole we're going to have to jump through. And we have to decide whether we're here, and we're here to make a point, to make a stand, no matter what happens, or we're going to go through each legal procedure and each legal loophole they throw up.
Exactly what you're fighting against.
I just want to offer a clarification point of possibility that they might be trying to make our very pleasant stay here very difficult for us, or maybe just to clarify that they're trying to make it as difficult as possible. Keep that in your mind.